Hi, folks. Lloyd Easter's here. I want to talk to you a little bit about the upper curve because people ask me about that. What is the upper curve exactly, and what does it mean, and why is that the basis of my blog and what I talk about so much? And so I want to go over that a little bit with you pretty quickly. But the upper curve really is derived from two things. Number one is the compound curve. You've heard Einstein talk about what's the eighth wonder of the world, which is compound interest, right? Darren Hardy wrote a book called The Compound Effect. He talks about the growth on a curve. And then Olson wrote about The Slight Edge, which is probably one of the greatest books ever written, in my opinion, talking about the growth curve. So I want to go over that with you, and that's really the basis of this whole concept, right? So if you look at the compound curve as an example, right? So you start and things move very slowly over a period of time. You see a little bit of growth, and then you start to see exponential growth over time, right? So if this is time, right, and this is whatever it may be. I mean, this could be money, this could be career, this could be relationships, this could be your marriage. Right? There's so many things that could go on this, right? And so this part of the curve right here is the hardest part, right? This is where you put in the most work. It's where you see the least results. It's where you're easily have an easy opportunity to give up. It's where you're just struggling, right? And you just got to keep grinding and over. And if you don't have a goal, right, a dream or a goal to achieve, it's hard to see how you're gonna how this curve is going to impact you. But it's a universal law. It works on everything that's a part of your life, and so that's why the upper curve is so important. Is how do we make sure we're making a path along this upper curve? Because what's the alternative, right? So the alternative is that we just do the status quo, right? We keep along and we're like, oh man, this is really hard. It's really hard. I'm going to save in my 401k a little bit, or I'm, just not going to do much. And so my curve looks like that, right? So this is the status quo curve, right? We just really, we're making some progress. We're not making a lot of progress. We're doing, we're advancing in our career a little bit, but we're not really focused on it. You don't spend some time with your spouse, your children, and maybe even think you're doing a lot of good things with them, and maybe you are, but you're not putting in the effort, or you don't have a purpose, or you don't have a goal or the dream, nor understand what actions you need to take to achieve it. So you'll never experience the all of the greatness of the curve, right? Which comes later in life. And then there's the opposite too, right? So you can have a negative curve. So you can be going along, and you love to binge watch Netflix. Okay, I do too a little bit. So then you get towards your end of life, and you snack all the time. You eat bad. You don't exercise. You don't pay attention to your relationships. You don't cultivate any of those. And then you get to retirement. You get 65. 75, 80, and you're like, what did I do with my life? What happened, right? And I'm overweight, and I don't have good health, and I'm just struggling, and it's just, so how do we avoid this, right? And it all has to do with here. You have to do the hard things up front and for a long period of time, and look at my video on goals versus dreams, and how do we take action and make it habitual, right? Daily habits in order to do the hard things here, in order to achieve the exponential success later. Then what we do, and if you look at my course and my coaching with my financial clients, is that when we start at 50, right, or 50-ish, right, so this 45 to 50 range, you're like, okay, well, hey, I'm behind. What do I do? How do we compress this curve in order to achieve exponential success sooner, right? So that takes a lot of work and a lot of focus and a lot of effort, but it's definitely something that we can do, and would love to be able to help you with it. So if this is useful, subscribe, share this video with other people, get connected to my coaching program so that we can help you individually and move you along the upper curve as well.